All right, man. Peace. It's Bronzebird here with a new video. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in. So I remember watching this TikTok a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't get a chance to do a review on this video, but I thought it was very important for me to give my analysis towards the man of today and his frustrations when it comes to the courtship or the dating field of today's modern day woman, in which a lot of men are priced out the game, will take extremes, will feel as if they need to do certain things in order to use it as a defense mechanism or to use different tactics to get away from the fact of the matter that they are hurt by said woman or women that they dealt with in the past. My idea about it, as usual, is, you have to take your L's with your W's. This point, this brother that I'm going to be reviewing today from his TikTok seems to be in a frustrated field where he does want exactly what is governed upon life, usually for man. To be able to have a woman who cares for him, being able to get in a courtship, thus being through the prelude up to marriage, and to basically spawn children out of that whole entire ideal of his perfect woman. I'll say this and I'll say it over and over again. There is no perfect woman, just like there is no perfect man, because all humans are imperfect. You are capable of making mistakes. Thus, we give ourselves a chance to remake from those mistakes, or repeat it over and over again. We find a way to get out of our addictions. But with someone like this guy by the name of Jonathandoescomedy, in which I didn't have a chance to put out this video, like I said before, I do understand exactly his frustration when it comes to dealing with a woman, in which I believe the woman that he was dealing with did him a favor, in which he should take that in stride. Yeah, have your time to gloat, have your time to feel some type of way about it, but understanding that there is something better in store for you, Jonathan, and for the men out there that might have felt as if a woman has done them wrong, that it may take different times to find a woman of your dreams or what you desire. Or the fact of the matter is, maybe it's just not for you. Maybe your woman may come in the form of your entertainment or what you desire out of life, or the things that you want to accomplish, i.e. your goals. That's a feministic value, or the feminine value, in which you apply your feelings or whatever it is that you want out of life to that goal that you find endearing, if you understand my drift. Like I said, I believe dating is not for everyone 100%. Maybe there are certain people who are destined to be single. Maybe there are certain people who are destined to be in relationships. We never know. It depends on what the Most High wants to give to you. Otherwise than that, let's just take a look at the video. So, Pete, fair use.
So I just left the restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time.
And the thing about it is, you did nothing wrong in that case. If anything, she's messed up your time. She disrespected your time and what you was looking for when it comes to meeting her. Now, my thing about it is just me. I'm not explaining, or I'm not saying to men to be just like me. Every man should operate in their own way that they see fit. I'm not buying flowers for a woman on the first date. I need to understand how you are and how we are physically now. We need to understand how we are when we're dealing with each other. So my thing about it is, at the end of the day, it's not a disrespect. It's just the fact of the matter, I'm trying to get to know you. So therefore, on other occasions, I have no problem gifting you with something special. I have no problem going on my way to give you flowers or give you something that a man would usually give a woman when it comes to courtship, of course. But on a first date, just me personally, I don't want to give you flowers. And if anything, a woman already understands that by the nature of the date, more than likely, I'm going to be paying for the meal. And this is where we encounter another problem, because you have an understanding, just as usual, is how many times we've seen on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or any social media platforms where the woman will admit that she does not find the man physically attractive. She just felt as if she wanted to use that man for a meal. And like I said, what I believe when it comes to situations like that, and I don't know if this is the same situation I have with Jonathan, obviously not, where my thing about it is, again, that's an investment that you made. If you lost that investment, it is what it is. Sometimes you need to lose money in order to gain money. So obviously, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're working or whether you're working for yourself and all that other stuff, you'll get that money back pronto. So, I would definitely feel disrespected if a woman stood me out on a date, or I paid for the meal and come to find out she ghosted me afterwards. Of course, I put in all this time and energy and I didn't even get it back. But otherwise than that, with someone like Jonathan, there's nothing you should feel bad about. If anything, it's the woman that should feel bad about what she did, not you.
Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that I guess is out there for me.
And we all are, brother. And that's the one thing that needs to be said. A lot of men may put up these hard exteriors and feel like I ain't looking for no woman, or, fuck that bitch, or this, that, and the third. It's nothing wrong with admitting that, there is someone that you're looking for. But I think that men of today feel a little bit more apprehensive into admitting that they want to have a relationship with a woman based on the climate of today's aspect when it comes to courtship and dating. It's no reason to be afraid, young man, whatever age that you are, that you want to be in a relationship and that you seek to have a mate. Doesn't work for everybody. There are some men who feel as if they only want to have sexual relationships with women, and that's perfectly fine. There are certain men out there that put on their capes and sit up there and say things that's very detrimental and sometimes frivolous, like saying, oh, I would rather meet a woman across the seas or across the country guidelines or in a different country because the country that I'm living in is not enough. In which, to some odds, I will definitely disagree. But at the same time, I will never come in between the conquest between a man and what he wants in another country. I just ask brothers, especially passport bros, to reconsider why you are a passport bro or why you decide to travel to a different country. Is it primarily for women, or is it for the experience of seeing these different places, then having a woman secondary into your plans? Something to think about.
I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like Elliot.
And something to that is, I understand where he's coming from, but this is a dog-eat-dog world. You have to lick your wounds. I would definitely say to this brother Jonathan, just lick your wounds. Sometimes you have to take losses in order to find your wins. Like I said. And this is a world where obviously there are more women than men, in which it's already been designed by the Most High. So there is no unlimited options that you can find in finding a woman of your choice, Jonathan, or any man out there that feels discouraged in his dating field. Let's just face reality. There could be women who are very superficial. There could be women who are very stuck up, or these different traits and stuff like that. But it does not mean you can't find the woman of your choice. You can. And if it's just not meant for you, then it's just not meant for you. It is what it is.
Dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love. To be kind to one another. Like, what? Ladies, tell me, what did I do wrong? So I just left the restaurant after.
And that's one thing that I have to also say. I would not rely on a woman to give me tips on what is it that I did wrong in dating. I would rather talk to fellow man about what is it that I can do, or to seek out advice on what I could do better when it comes to looking for a courtship with a woman. See, when those type of things go on, this is why I advise men to have conversations with fellow men, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, to find out what is it that you can do better in order to maximize your results. Now, of course, I understand us as men. We will take the visual aspect and take the sexual aspect of a woman instead of understanding the mental capacity of what it means to go for a courtship or go for the woman of our choices. Things need to work in tandem, in my opinion, in which I believe at the end of the day, a man who, just like Jonathan, who may be frustrated with these type of things need to speak to fellow friends, bros, whatever you have to do. Call up your bros, call up your friends, say that you were stood up on a date. I would never advise man to take their issues to social media, such as TikTok, in order to air out their grievances with the problems they had with a date. I would rather a phone call with a fellow friend in order to get a perspective about these different things, because men should be able to have those conversations with each other, because who knows each other best? Men, of course, in those type of dynamics. So that your bro may tell you, hey, bro, you didn't do anything wrong. She was a bitch anyway, or she did you a favor. And another man can tell him, hey, look, listen, maybe come out with me to the bar this weekend and we can chat up and maybe we can put you on and I'll be your wingman so you can get the woman of your choice. In which that's a little bit of a hard boil, but it's about this, man. Maybe he can find a fellow comedian at the places he does comedy that might be of his stature, might be the type of woman he's actually looking for. Maybe that suits his interest in that. And that's why I always told men, usually in the past, especially when I mentored, that sometimes you can find a woman of your choice based on your interest. You don't have to do the lousy thing of going to bars or going to these crapping them whole different lounges and all these different things to find a woman, because usually those type of things is geared to the sexual aspect. You want a relationship. So obviously things that pique your interest, you should be able to target on and find and go to. That's one aspect. There's many more aspects, but that's one important aspect that I always advise to men that advised me and asked my advice on trying to look for the woman of their choice. But, if the Most High calls for you to pop a couple of broads, then, call for it. But if you're not that type of man, then that's perfectly fine. But always find something that's of your interest, and maybe you can find a woman there of your choice. You don't think so? If you disagree or agree, make sure you give your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Peace.